Hello students, welcome to today's class. Today we discuss Newton's second law of motion, which is also known as law of momentum. You will take the case of two balls. So this is a tennis ball and this is a cricket ball. This is a tennis ball and this is a cricket ball. You know, so this tennis ball has less mass and cricket ball has more mass. A tennis ball and a cricket ball. So both are moving with the same velocity. And you want to stop them by using your hand. You want to stop them both by using your hand. In which case, more force will act on your hand. So obviously, this cricket ball will exert more force on you. Even though both the balls that is tennis ball and cricket ball are coming with the same velocity, and you stop these two balls by using your hand, but you can experience that the cricket ball will exert more force on your hand. What is the reason? Because cricket ball has got more mass than the tennis ball, even though both are moving with the same velocity. Now, next case, take two cricket balls. So this is the first cricket ball and this is the second cricket ball. Both have equal mass. These two cricket balls have equal mass. Now, cricket ball 1 that is moving slowly and cricket ball 2 is moving fast. First ball is moving slowly and second ball is moving fast. Then you want to stop both of them. Then which ball will exert more force on your hand? The second ball will exert more force on your hand because second ball has got more velocity. First ball has got less velocity and second ball has got more velocity. So even though both the balls have same mass, the second ball exerts more force on your hand because of its more velocity. Or we can conclude that the force which is acting on the body, that depends on two factors: mass of the body and velocity of the body. So there is a property which depends on these two factors, which is known as linear momentum. So linear momentum is the product of mass and velocity. So linear momentum of a body is the product of mass and its velocity. So linear momentum is a vector quantity. Then what are the SI and CGS units of momentum? So first we write the SI unit of momentum. SI unit of momentum is the product of SI unit of mass and SI unit of velocity. SI unit of mass is kilogram and SI unit of velocity is meter per second. So SI unit of momentum is kilogram meter per second. What is the CGS unit? CGS unit of momentum is the product of CGS unit of mass and CGS unit of velocity. CGS unit of mass is gram and CGS unit of velocity is centimeter per second. So CGS unit of momentum is gram centimeter per second. Next one is change in momentum. So change in momentum. For representing change, we use this symbol delta. This small triangle like this symbol denotes change, delta. This is called delta. Delta P. Delta P means change in momentum. So which is equal to change. So we have seen that momentum is the product of mass and velocity. So change in momentum is equal to change in mass and velocity. Suppose the mass of the body is constant. When the mass of the body is constant, then change in momentum depends on change in velocity. When the mass of the body is constant, then change in momentum depends on change in velocity. The change in momentum depends on both the change in mass and velocity. The mass of the body is constant, then change in momentum depends only on change in velocity. And suppose that when a body is moving, when a body is not moving, that time it is stationary, that time mass of the body remains constant. And when a body moves, there is a slight change in mass. A moving body has got slightly more mass. So according to Einstein, there is a formula to calculate the actual mass. The actual mass is equal to MO upon square root of 1 minus V by C whole square. So this is the formula to calculate the actual mass. So here MO is the rest mass. MO is the rest mass. Rest mass means when the body is in the state of rest constant. V stands for velocity of the body and C stands for velocity of light. The velocity of light in air or vacuum is 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second. Then when the body has got a speed much less than the speed of light, that then this value is negligible. This value is negligible. So in that case, this one actual mass and the rest mass are almost actual mass and rest mass are almost equal. When in which case, when the velocity of the body is much less than the velocity of light. When the velocity of the body is much less than the velocity of light, that is velocity of light is 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second in air or vacuum. In that case, when we substitute the value, this value is negligible. In that case, when we solve, we get the actual mass is same as the rest mass. MO stands for rest mass. In that case, there is no variation in mass. Then in that case, this one change in momentum depends only on change in velocity. When a body is moving, when the body is moving with a velocity much less than the velocity of light, that case change in momentum depends only on change in velocity, because the mass remains constant. Actual mass that remains constant. And when the body moves, with a speed more than the speed of light, when a body moves with a speed more than the speed of light, in that case this value also there is a variation. In that case, change in momentum depends on change in mass and velocity. When a body is moving with a speed more than the speed of light, that case the actual mass is different than the rest mass. In that case, change in momentum depends on change in mass and velocity. Now the next one is rate of change of momentum. So rate of change of momentum means change in momentum upon time. That is called rate of change of momentum. Means rate of change of momentum means change in momentum. Change in momentum is delta P upon change in time. That is the rate of change of momentum. This delta denotes change. So rate of change of momentum is change in momentum upon time taken. Suppose that a body has a mass n kilogram, then it is moving with a velocity of u meter per second. It moves with a velocity of u meter per second. A body whose mass is taken as n kilogram and its initial velocity is taken as u meter per second. Then a force is applied on the body. A force is applied. Body with mass m, initial velocity u. Then a force is applied on the body. When the force is applied on the body, its velocity increases. And after t second, its velocity becomes a v meter per second. So final velocity is v meter per second and initial velocity is u meter per second. So what is the rate of change of momentum? Let us calculate the rate of change of momentum. So what is the initial momentum? So Pi, P stands for momentum, I stands for initial. So what is the initial momentum? So initial momentum is the product of mass and initial velocity. We have seen what is linear momentum. It is the product of mass and velocity. So initial momentum is equal to mass into initial velocity. Now what is the final momentum? So P for momentum, F for final. So what is the final momentum? So final momentum is the product of mass and final velocity. Final momentum is equal to m into v. Mass into final velocity. Then what is change in momentum? Change in momentum, that is equal to final momentum minus initial momentum, which is equal to mv minus mu. M is common, we can take it outside, we can write m into v minus u. This is the change in momentum. Change in momentum is equal to m into v minus u. Now what is the rate of change of momentum? Rate of change, delta p upon delta t, rate of change of momentum. So that is equal to delta p upon delta t, which is called rate of change of momentum. So that is equal to m into v minus u. Both sides we divide by time. So the change in velocity upon time is called acceleration. So we get v minus u upon t, that is replaced as acceleration. So v minus u upon t is replaced as acceleration. So we get Rate of change of momentum is the product of mass and acceleration. Rate of change of momentum is equal to the product of mass and acceleration. So this is this. Rate of change of momentum is equal to the product of mass and acceleration. Now the next one is derivation of the formula. Force is equal to mass into acceleration. Force is equal to mass into acceleration. So you can see a duster in my hand. If I apply less force, then it moves slowly with the less acceleration. If I increase the magnitude of force, then its acceleration will also increase. And if I apply more force, then it moves with more acceleration. So we can conclude that when the more force is applied on a body with a constant mass, then more acceleration is produced. If I apply more force, then it comes with more acceleration. So acceleration produced is directly proportional to the force applied. Acceleration produced is directly proportional to the force applied. If I increase the force, more acceleration is produced on the body. If I draw a graph by taking force along the x-axis and acceleration along the y-axis, then the graph will come like this. So here mass is constant. Suppose that there is a table tennis ball and a cricket ball, and you have to produce same acceleration on both the ball, both the table tennis ball and the cricket ball. You have to produce same acceleration. Then on which ball you have to apply more force? You have to apply more force on cricket ball. Okay, you have to apply more force on cricket ball. Then only the same acceleration, constant acceleration can be produced on both the table tennis ball and the cricket ball. Or we can conclude that if the mass of the body is more, then more force is needed. If the mass of the body is more, then more force is needed to produce the same acceleration. Okay, this is the graph by taking mass along the x-axis and force along the y-axis. Then this graph will come like this, a straight line inclined to the x-axis. So first case we have written this case, and second one is this one. Force is directly proportional to acceleration and force is directly proportional to mass. When we combine these two, then we get F is proportional to M into A. Force is directly proportional to M into A. Suppose for removing this proportionality sign, we multiply with a constant into mass into acceleration. If we take K is equal to 1, K we take it as 1, then we will get F is equal to M into A. If K is equal to 1, then force is equal to mass into acceleration. So this is the formula. Force is equal to mass into acceleration. F stands for force, M stands for mass, and A stands for acceleration. So today we have seen about linear momentum and force. So linear momentum is the product of mass and velocity, and force is the product of mass and acceleration. So next class we will continue this topic.